Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Verlicity AI Podcast. I'm Cristian Worthington.
And I'm Sandra Giffin. A recent report by Goldman Sachs suggested that within the next decade, AI could automate enough work that it will be equivalent to 300 million full-time jobs.
Wow, that's a staggering, almost abstract number.
But we want you to think about it differently. These are not 300 million people losing their jobs. It's 300 million jobs worth of work being augmented or handled by AI. While there's no doubt that some people will lose their jobs, most will see their jobs change. It's best to think of AI, and specifically AI agents, as a new kind of workforce that works alongside, in most cases, under the supervision of human workers.
Yes, and a workforce needs a manager. In our last episode, we introduced a new mantra for this era. Be a manager, not a minion. We coined this slogan because we wanted to make it clear that managers will be the winners in this new economy, and we want you to be a manager. Today, we're taking that concept to its next logical and perhaps most critical step. The AI tools you've been learning how to use are starting to evolve. They are becoming agents.
The transition from AI chatbots to AI agents presents a challenge for the modern worker. You have a choice to make, and it may be the most important choice for your career in the next 5 years. Will you be an AI agent manager orchestrating this new workforce? Or will you find yourself scrambling to do the tasks the agents can't yet do?
Today, we're providing the blueprint for becoming an AI agent manager. We'll explore what these agents are and how they actually work. We're also going to lay out a framework to answer a single crucial question for your future. Are you set up to fail, or are you set up to succeed?
First, let's be crystal clear about what we mean by an AI agent. It's a term that's exploding in popularity, but its meaning can get fuzzy. An agent is a profound leap beyond the chatbots and AI assistants we've gotten used to.
If we trace the history of automation, the first types were purely instruction, based like a spreadsheet macro. You recorded a set of rigid steps, and the macro repeated them. Next are chatbots, which are really like a conversational partner. They are reactive, they wait for your next command, and now we have AI agents which don't need rigid instructions or your next command. They can act with a degree of autonomy.
AI agents have 3 key characteristics: goal orientation, autonomy, and tool use. All 3 characteristics work together. The goal you set gives the agent its mission. Autonomy is its freedom to pursue that mission without step-by-step commands. And tool use is how it actually interacts with the world to get the job done.
To understand the difference between a chatbot and an AI agent, we like to use the analogy of an intern versus a project manager. You give a chatbot, the intern, a single explicit command: search for flights from Vancouver to Toronto on June 10th. It does that one thing and then waits for your next instruction. But you give an AI agent, the project manager, a high-level goal. Find the most cost-effective and time-efficient travel itinerary for my business trip to Toronto next month, including flights and a hotel near the conference center. The agent is designed to understand that goal, break it down into steps, and execute them on its own until the goal is achieved.
And an AI agent can go much further than fetch information. It can book the travel products, and it can pay for them too.
The agent is only limited by the systems it can access, the authority you give it, and the amount of time that it's able to run.
Currently, AI agents can only run for a few minutes at a time. They can access your browser, use your passwords, and act on your behalf if you give them permission.
But AI service providers like Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic are soon going to be releasing new agents that can run for hours. It won't be long before an AI agent is able to run for an entire 8-hour day, basically mimicking a worker in a business.
And that changes everything. An 8-hour runtime means an agent can take on not just tasks, but entire projects. That's the scale of change we want you to be prepared for, because it's coming in as little as the next 6 months or a year. So how does an agent actually do things? Well, it's not magic. It's a logical process that simulates and in some ways simplifies a human's own problem-solving workflow.
Imagine the agent has an internal monologue. You give it that goal. Plan my Toronto business trip. The agent's first step is decomposition. Its internal monologue says, okay, the main goal is a complete itinerary. I need to break this down. Sub-goal 1, find optimal flights. Sub-goal 2, find a suitable hotel. Sub-goal 3, arrange ground transportation. Sub-goal 4, consolidate everything into a schedule.
Then comes tool selection. For each of those sub-goals, it assesses the tools it has. For find flights, it thinks, my best tool is the web browser. I will access it. For put it on a schedule, it thinks, I need to access the user's Google Calendar API.
Now comes the active part, execution and observation. The agent executes its first step. It opens a browser and navigates to Google Flights. It inputs the criteria. It then observes the result. It reads the HTML of the web page, identifies the flight options and prices, and stores that information.
And most importantly, it can self-correct. Let's say its initial search shows only very expensive flights. Its monologue might say, these results don't meet the cost-effective constraint. I will try searching for flights on adjacent days to see if I can find a better price. I will also check a different airline's website directly. This ability to react to new information and adjust the plan is what makes agents so powerful.
Finally, after it has iterated through all its sub-goals, finding the flights, cross-referencing hotel locations, getting a car rental quote, it performs the last step, assembly. It synthesizes all the collected data into a clean, final report or a drafted itinerary and presents it to you, its manager, for final approval. It's a continuous cycle of think, act, observe, and correct.
And this isn't a distant future. We're in the middle of a rapid evolution. This is just like the Cambrian explosion over 500 million years ago, when life on Earth experienced a rapid increase in the number of species of plants and animals. The same kind of rapid diversification and specialization is now taking place with AI agents. It's a little like what happened in the mobile industry when the app stores came online. We went from a world that hadn't heard about apps to a world in which the app stores had over 2 million apps.
Yes, this is happening now, and it's happening fast. We're seeing this rapid evolution in two main streams. First, you have the generalist agents. This is the path for tools like Google's Gemini. The vision is a single, powerful assistant integrated into your entire digital life, your email, your calendar, your documents, your browser. Its strength is its broad context and ability to perform a vast range of personal and professional tasks. In a previous episode entitled Grassroots AI, The Future of AI is Personal, we discussed the AI stack that Gemini can access. Google is able to give the agent access to an amazingly deep pool of services, which are all native to Google and familiar to Gemini.
But at the same time, we're seeing the rise of specialist agents. These are agents hyper-focused on one domain. You have agents designed to be expert software developers, agents that act as financial analysts capable of reading market data and generating reports, and agents that can perform complex scientific research.
And companies like Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, and Microsoft have announced agent-to-agent protocols which will allow AI agents to talk to each other in a language only they understand. You can think of agent-to-agent communication like an emergency room. The triage nurse, the surgeon, and the anesthesiologist all use specialized medical shorthand to communicate incredibly complex information with maximum efficiency. They don't have to explain the basics to each other. Agent-to-agent communication will be like that. A highly efficient, specialized language for collaboration. You'll be able to build stacks of agents that can work together in tandem, speaking their own secret language. They will be like members of your team, a well-oiled team that can practically read each other's minds.
Imagine the level of collaboration these agents could perform. For example, an accounting agent working with a financial planning agent and an agent that can handle your supply chain. You could run a logistics business where your head office would be a group of AI agents working quietly as a team while you sit back and supervise.
The key takeaway here is that this isn't a winner-take-all market. The future isn't about finding the one perfect agent. It's about building a team of agents, both generalist and specialist, that you, the manager, can deploy to tackle different problems.
This sounds wonderful. What could go wrong?
That's a great question. Let's talk about how you could be set up to fail in this new economy.
So let's just take a breath here and drink in the moment. For all of human history, agency was something human. If we wanted to get something done, anything, we needed to initiate the work or get someone else to do it. This has been the way of the world for millions of years. A person could use tools to be more productive, and our tools have become much more sophisticated as our technology has improved.
But agentic AI is different. It's not a tool. It's a lot more than a tool.
Yeah. We're talking about being able to manifest the equivalent of another human worker from thin air. A worker capable of identifying a problem, taking complex actions, and achieving results autonomously. You can almost think of an AI agent as the digital equivalent of an android, like the ones we see in science fiction.
When I look at a dishwasher, I think, hey, isn't that a robot doing work on my behalf?
Yes, but it's different from an AI agent. A dishwasher doesn't understand the goal of keeping a clean kitchen or know when it's time to clean up. It has to be loaded and turned on. It isn't autonomous. It has no idea when it needs to be run, and it has no sense of the big picture, the desire for a clean kitchen. On the other hand, an AI agent is able to set the objective of having a clean kitchen, and it can decide how best to achieve this objective.
In the dishwasher example, the task can't be completed by an AI agent alone. It requires a robot connected to an AI agent to execute the task. There are companies working on this problem, and the early prototypes will be hitting the market soon. But in the digital domain, you can find millions of tasks that won't require a physical robot to execute a goal.
This new emerging agentic workforce offers exciting possibilities, but it has a hidden danger. It can cause professionals to fail in new ways. If you get nothing else from this episode, we want to be sure that you're not set up to fail in this agentic economy. You need to avoid predictable mindset traps.
The first and most common is being the micromanager. This person treats a powerful agent like a simple chatbot. They give it tedious step-by-step commands, completely defeating the purpose of goal-oriented autonomy.
As we stressed in our last episode, your goal is to be a manager, not a minion. Micromanaging an AI agent is the digital equivalent of being a minion who just happens to be giving the orders.
If you're focusing on the how, stop. As a manager, your entire value shifts to defining the what and the why.
You're in the goal business. You need to think about the goals you want to achieve and the quality of the result.
The second failure mode is the Luddite. This is the person who says, "This is all too complicated. It's just hype. I'll wait for it to blow over." This is dangerously similar to people in the late 90s who said, "I don't need to learn how to use the internet for my job." We all know how that story ended.
Yes, but the internet revolution gave people a decade to adapt. The AI revolution is moving at a much faster pace, requiring adaptation in a matter of months.
This revolution demands a sense of urgency. The wait-and-see approach is a strategy for being left behind.
And the third trap is the perfectionist. This person fears delegation to an AI because it might not write an email with their exact personal flair or structure a report in their precise established format.
Don't get so caught up in the 10% of stylistic difference that you sacrifice the 90% gain in speed and efficiency.
Remember, you're a manager in this relationship. You should take the AI's 90% draft and add the final 10% polish of human expertise.
To be fair, these are tips that I would give to anyone ascending to a management role. These same ideas would apply if you got a promotion from a junior position in a company and suddenly found yourself with a team.
That's right, but in the new agentic economy, everyone just got a promotion. No matter how junior you are in the company, you suddenly have a team.
Sandra, that's wonderful, and I think that's worth repeating. Everyone just got a promotion. Whether you're a CEO or a new hire, you are now, by default, a manager of an agentic AI workforce. The only question is whether you'll be a good one. But even if you're already a manager, you're going to find this is a bit of a mindset shift because you're used to team members who are human. If you fall into the trap of seeing AI agents as software tools, you'll miss out on the fact that they are much more.
And let's not forget that AI agents are far less costly than human workers, so they should be your first instinct. Think of them as a way to grow your human team as big as you want.
Also, if you are a manager, you should be encouraging your human team members to use agents wherever they can.
Yes, agents are a massive force multiplier. If you're using AI agents and all your human team members are also using AI agents, the productivity boost can be enormous. If you're a leader, don't make the mistake of failing to see this multiplier effect.
So let's flip the script. How can you set yourself up to succeed? This requires us to move beyond being a mere user. We need to cultivate 5 core competencies. Let's call this your playbook, the 5 core competencies of an effective AI agent manager.
Competency number 1, be the architect.
Your most valuable skill in the agentic economy is your ability to define a clear, unambiguous outcome. Remember, you're in the goal business. Your ability to clearly articulate a goal is your superpower.
You need to think like you're writing a statement of work for a contractor.
What is the precise objective? What are the key results? What are the constraints? Budget, time, resources? What does the final deliverable look like?
Being able to articulate a goal clearly is the foundation of management. If you've ever worked for a manager who expected you to read her mind, you have some idea of how unproductive that can be. AI agents don't read minds any more than human workers.
Second, be the orchestrator.
You're managing a workforce. AI agents may not be coming to your company Christmas party, but they are a workforce, and you need to think of them as such.
Imagine yourself as a general contractor building a house. You hire specialist plumbers, electricians, and painters. You don't know how to do their jobs, but you know who to call, what they're capable of, and in what sequence to deploy them.
In a business scenario, maybe you'll orchestrate a financial analysis agent to work on a report, while a marketing agent uses the output to draft a campaign.
Now you have a goal, and you've set up your team of agents to do the work.
Third, be the quality controller.
Your domain expertise becomes more valuable, not less. We've all seen AI slop that was carelessly produced by someone who didn't care about the output. That low-quality, unverified, and soulless content produced by someone who didn't care. Your job as quality controller is to be the antidote to AI slop.
For example, an agent can draft a sales contract in seconds, but only you, with your years of experience, can look at it and say, This is good. But Clause 7 is too risky for this particular client, and we need to add a section on intellectual property. Your professional taste becomes a premium skill. An agent can generate 1,000 variations, but you have the refined judgment to select the one that is not just correct, but also elegant, persuasive, and appropriate for the context. AI can mass produce, but humans provide the critical element of taste, of judgment.
You are the final arbiter of good. Your judgment is your indispensable value.
You may find that in many cases, this quality control step will lead you to revisit the first 2 steps in this process. You may decide to tweak the goal or change the way you orchestrate the agents if you notice persistent quality problems. Working with teams of humans or AI agents is the same. It's an iterative and interactive process.
Fourth is the resource manager.
An agent is only as good as the resources you give it. You need to set up the environment in which your team of AI agents can succeed.
Your job is to understand what the agents need. Do they need access to a specific database? Do they need an API key for a piece of software? Do they need a budget for its token usage?
There's nothing worse than working for a boss who doesn't give you the tools you need to do a good job. AI agents need the same consideration.
Equipping your agent workforce for success is a core managerial task. I like to take a moment before I task any team, human or machine, and walk through the process in my mind. Your ability to imagine the resources that would make the job easier is a core competency.
And finally, number 5, be the talent scout.
The landscape of AI agents is evolving weekly. Imagine you're an employer with an unlimited budget. Imagine you could hire anyone you want as soon as they become available.
The agentic economy has created a situation in which scarcity of labor is old news. You never need to face the scenario where you need a worker and that worker is unavailable. Your only limitation is your capacity as a manager to define the need.
An effective manager in the agentic economy will be constantly scanning the horizon for new, more powerful, or more efficient agents and platforms. Your job includes reading, experimenting, and finding better tools to add to your team, ensuring your AI workforce doesn't become obsolete.
So, if I master being an architect, an orchestrator, a quality controller, a resource manager, and a talent scout, I'm all set, right? I'm on an upward trajectory.
Yes, but being a manager isn't just about productivity. It's also about responsibility. Handing over autonomy to AI agents introduces new risks, and you're ultimately accountable.
The most obvious risk is accuracy. Agents can still hallucinate or misinterpret information. If an agent pulls the wrong data for a financial report and you present it to your board without checking, that's not the agent's failure, it's yours.
Yes, your quality controller role is your safeguard, and it's also important to give extra attention when an AI agent is doing a task that's not easily verifiable.
That's right. If the AI agent is doing a repetitive task that can be measured in a way that is easy to validate, you're probably going to be okay giving the task minimal supervision. AIs excel in cases where the outcome is clear, but in cases where the outcome is more qualitative, you'll need to be particularly on guard.
Then there's security. When you grant an agent access to your email, your calendar, and your company's private documents, you are creating a new potential security vulnerability. If you're giving the AI agent access to APIs, credit card numbers, passwords, and other sensitive information, you'll need to consider implementing guardrails. As a manager, you must be aware of the permissions you're granting and the security protocols of the platforms you use.
And finally, there's the cost. These agents consume resources, tokens, processing power, which translate to real money. Letting an agent run unsupervised on a poorly defined task could be like leaving a new employee with the company credit card and no spending limit. Part of your job as resource manager is to monitor costs and ensure an efficient use of resources.
Now, you may be at a point in your career where you have no management experience or you're just getting started. You may be thinking, who's going to give me a chance to manage a team, agentic or otherwise?
The answer might take you in a new direction.
Yes, we've been talking about how to adapt within your existing career and how to manage teams of agents inside a company. But there's another, perhaps even more profound, implication of this shift. We believe the rise of agentic AI is about to trigger a golden age of entrepreneurship.
That's right. For decades, one of the biggest barriers to starting a new business has been the cost and risk of hiring your first employees. You need a sales team, a marketing person, an accountant, a customer service rep. That requires significant capital and commitment.
One of the biggest barriers to entrepreneurship is seed capital.
Growing a company from a solo entrepreneur gig to your first employee doubles your overhead, often before you have enough revenue to properly feed yourself. This can be a huge impediment to getting a business off the ground. Those first few steps as an entrepreneur are a doozy.
Agentic AI fundamentally changes the entrepreneurial equation. It places a virtual, scalable workforce into the hands of a startup founder at a fraction of the cost of human employees.
Imagine launching a new e-commerce business. On day one, you can deploy a team of agents, one to manage your social media marketing, another to handle customer service inquiries, a third to track inventory and manage your supply chain, and a fourth to handle your bookkeeping. So think about what that founder's day looks like. She's not packing boxes or answering customer emails. She spends her morning reviewing the marketing agent's performance dashboard, the afternoon making a decision based on the supply chain agent's inventory report, and the evening defining a new sales goal for the team. Her entire job is strategic management, the very skills we've been discussing.
This dramatically lowers the barrier to entry for starting a business. The capital that was once needed for payroll can now be redirected into product development, advertising, or growth.
And the quality of the work, which is often lacking in startups, goes up. Because the founder isn't buried under loads of tedious tasks. In many ways, agentic AI has the potential to level the playing field between scrappy startups and established businesses.
Agentic AI creates the potential for a flood of new innovative businesses that previously would have been too expensive or too risky to launch.
And this leads to a fascinating opportunity. We've been talking about becoming an AI agent manager. For many, that transition might happen simultaneously with becoming an entrepreneur.
Your first management role might not be at a large corporation. It might be as the CEO of your own one-person company, managing a team of 5, 10, or 20 AI agents.
This creates an entirely new career path. It offers a way for motivated, entry-level workers to ascend to a managerial role without having to climb the traditional corporate ladder.
If you can master the 5 competencies we discussed, being an architect, orchestrator, quality controller, resource manager, and a talent scout, you don't need to wait for a promotion. You can build your own corporate ladder and start your journey on the top rung.
Imagine, if you can effectively define goals and manage a team of specialist AI agents to execute your business plan, you can be an instant entrepreneur in this new age.
You become the human core of a highly efficient, scalable organization.
Your primary role shifts from doing the work to defining the vision and directing the AI workforce that brings it to life.
So as you listen to this, we want you to expand your thinking.
Don't just ask, how can I use this in my job? Ask, what kind of business could I build with this? The agentic age doesn't just offer you a new role. It might be offering you a new company. By the way, we'll be exploring AI entrepreneurship in much more detail in an upcoming episode.
So now it's time for you to take action. Let's make it incredibly practical. Here are your first steps to start thinking and acting like an AI agent manager. In this example, we'll use Google's Gemini.
First, fully explore Gemini Advanced and its integrations, especially within Google Workspace. Don't just ask it questions, give it a project. Say, go through my last 50 emails from the X team, identify the top 3 unresolved issues, and draft a follow-up email to the project lead, summarizing them with suggested next steps. Learn how to schedule tasks in Gemini. This forces the AI to act like an agent by using a tool, in this case Gmail, to achieve a goal on a regular basis.
Second, let's revisit the 15-minute rule we introduced in our last episode. This week, identify a recurring task that takes you more than 15 minutes every week. But instead of just doing it, open a Google Doc and draft a formal project brief. Use your architect competencies to write a clear objective, define the constraints, and describe the final deliverable. Get used to formulating goals, not just instructions.
And third, consciously practice the language of delegation in your daily interactions with Gemini. Before you type, ask yourself, am I asking a question or am I assigning a task? Instead of asking Gemini, what are some good team-building activities? Think of this as a task you assign by giving it instructions and parameters. Plan a half-day team-building offsite for my 8-person team next month. Constraints are, must be within a 30-minute drive of our office, budget is $150 per person, and it should not be physically strenuous. Deliver 3 detailed options in a table format, including cost, location, and a sample itinerary for each.
If you put yourself in the mindset of assigning a task, as AI agents come online, you'll be used to addressing the AI in a more proactive manner with a goal in mind.
You'll get better results from tools like Gemini in the short run, and you'll have a head start with AI agents in the future.
The shift from simply using AI chatbots to managing AI agents is not a small one. It's a fundamental change in the nature of professional work. It's a move away from being a practitioner of a specific skill and toward being a director of outcomes.
The most powerful tools humanity has ever created are evolving into our new team members, and they need effective, thoughtful, and responsible leadership. They need managers like you.
The question is no longer if you will work with AI agents, but how.
Will you be in the driver's seat, cultivating the skills of an architect, an orchestrator, and a quality controller to amplify your impact? Or will you be struggling to keep up? The choice is yours.
Start building your AI agent management skills. Start thinking like an AI agent manager today.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell us how you're using AI to achieve goals.
As your first AI management task, please share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And share your experiences with us at Verlicity.ai or tag us at Verlicity AI on your favorite social media platform. Your insights are part of this collective learning journey. We're all on this ride together.
And as always, please share this podcast with anyone you think would find this conversation valuable. You'll find us on all the popular podcast apps and on YouTube. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing so you don't miss our ongoing explorations into the ever-evolving world of AI.
Thank you for joining us on the Verlicity AI Podcast. I'm Cristian Worthington.
And I'm Sandra Giffin. Until next time, congratulations on your new promotion to AI Agent Manager, and keep your focus on the goal.